YouTube, and welcome to my presentation on simplifying rational expressions. So let me just write up our title. Simplifying rational expressions. So in this video, I'm going to try to do as many practice problems as I can, and then if we, I don't want to go over the 15-minute limit, but I'll get in as many as I can. If I can't fit them in this video, I'll fit them in another. So our first problem is 2t plus 2 over t squared minus 1. So first thing what we want to do is we want to factor the numerator and factor the denominator. So what's a common factor that we can pull out of the numerator? Well, we can pull out a 2. If we pull out a 2, we're left with t plus 1. And then the denominator, well, what does that look like? It's a difference of squares. So that's t minus 1 into t plus 1. And then t plus 1 and t plus 1 cancel out because we're multiplying. If we were adding these quantities, then you could not cancel out. So then we have 2 over t minus 1 as our answer. And then if you wanted to find excluded values, you would just say that they were 1 and negative 1. Okay, so that's our first problem worked out. That was pretty painless. Let's do one more. So let's see what our next one is. So we have 3x squared plus 5x minus 2 over 6 plus x minus x squared. So same thing here. We're going to factor the numerator, factor the denominator. So I'm going to first factor I'm going to first factor the numerator. So let me just rewrite this. X squared. Okay. So, let's just first factor the numerator. So we get 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. So what's our product that we're looking for? Well, it's your a term, which is 3, times your c term, which is negative 2. So we want two numbers who multiply to be negative 6 and that add to be 5. So I encourage you to pause the video now and think of those two numbers. Okay, so those two numbers would be negative 1 and 6, because negative 1 times 6 is negative 6, but negative 1 plus 6 is 5. So then what we would do is just add those inside the center here. Oh, this is a mess. What was that? Minus 2. Okay. I'm just going to zoom out so we have more area. So then I'm going to add those in the center. So plus 6x minus x minus 2. And if you want to know why I chose the 6 here and the minus x there, it's because I saw that 6 shares a factor with 3, and then I just see that working out. So if you see that certain numbers will work next to certain numbers, you fit it like that. I'll show you in a minute. So then I'm going to group these two. So I'll group this and I'll group this. So I'll show you that in a minute. And then it'll become clear why I chose the 6 first and the negative 1 second. So then I'll factor out a 3x. So then we get x plus 2. And then here, to get that x plus 2, I need to factor out a negative 1. So now you can see why I chose to put the 6x there, because I can pull out a nice, easy common factor. So whenever you get those two numbers, look first to see if there's a nice, easy common factor you can pull out if you group them a certain way. And it's not that hard. So then we can just get our answer as... we can pull out an x plus 2, and we just get 3x minus 1, right? Because it's this, and then we just pull that down. And then we get 3x plus 1 into x plus 2. And this, remember, this isn't our answer. This is our numerator. Now we got to work on our denominator. I know, it's a lot of work. So let's check out what we have to do for our denominator. Okay, so what's in our denominator? So this is what's in our denominator. 6 plus x minus x squared. So we need to reorder this. This is a trick that teachers sometimes pull. They have everything out of whack. Well, it's simple. You just reorder it using the x squared term first and going down in successive order. So then, remember, you want your sum to be your a term, which is -1 times your c term. So your product should be -6. Sorry, I may have messed up there. And then your sum should be 1. So what two numbers have a product of -6 and have a sum of 1? So you definitely know that the two numbers are 2 and 3, and then you can just say that there's a -2 and a 3. And that works out because -2 plus 3 is 1, and -2 times 3 is -6. So then again, how should we group these in our quadratic? Well, if we look and see, let's take a look at our c term. Are any of these good, nice factors of 6? Well, both of them are. So I guess we could put it in any order, but it just seems to me that the 3 might work out better. And here, I don't think it matters. And in all cases, generally, it won't matter, but it just makes it a bit easier, and it makes your job a whole lot easier. So let's just do it that way. So we have minus 2x plus 3x plus 6. Then we can take out a minus x into x plus 2 plus 3 into x plus 2, and we get negative x plus 3 into x plus 2. And now we have our denominator is 3x minus 1 over x plus 2. X plus 2 is cancelled because we're multiplying, and this is our answer. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah. I'm just making sure that I did this right. Or, yeah, so we got that one right. So that was a tricky problem, but as you'll see, if you just keep calm, have a cool head and work through it, anything is really possible. The main thing you got to remember is the first thing you have to do is factor. That just makes everything a whole lot clearer. So let's do number 3. This is a tough one. R squared minus S squared over 4R squared plus R plus RS minus 5S squared. Okay? So now we can factor the we can notice immediately that the numerator is a difference of squares, and we can factor that accordingly. So the numerator would just be R minus S into R plus S. Now the denominator is where things get tricky. So in this type of a quadratic, where in the denominator you have two squares, you have to factor by grouping, and what you also have to do is you got to break up this middle term on your own. Remember how in the past we would just be well, you can break it up on your own, and you're gonna have to think of it on your own. So like we could just break it up like any which like. So the two immediate numbers that come to my mind are 4 and 5, because we can subtract 4, and so we can have a negative 4 and a positive 5. And then when we add the 2, we get 1, and when we multiply the 2, we get negative 20. So another way to approach this is you can still multiply A and C, and you get negative 20 times is the product of the two numbers, and 1 needs to be your sum. So then you can immediately see the two numbers are negative 4 and 5. And then it's just a matter of breaking it up. So then you can subtract 4RS, add 5RS minus 5S, 4R into R minus S, plus 5S into R minus S, and you get 4 Ugh. Drying up on me. And you get 4r plus 5s into r minus s. And then this is your denominator. So now let me just do a recap here of what we have in our numerator. Minus s into r plus s all over 4r plus 5s into r minus s. Ugh, I'm not accustomed to using this new software. Okay, so then the r minus s's cancel out, and we're left with r plus s over 4r plus 5s. Sorry guys if that was a bit confusing. The technology is really bugging me. My iPad pen for some reason doesn't seem to be working. I need to get a new one. Let me just get a larger there. Okay, how much time do we have left? So we've been doing this for 11 minutes. I'll try to squeeze in one more problem. And as I said, if I don't finish all of these, because these are pretty tricky problems, I'll definitely do another video. Okay, let's do one more. Number 4, negative x over 4y, whole thing squared, into negative 4y over x. Okay, so we can just square this straight off the bat. We get x squared over 16y squared into negative 4y over x. And now what we can do is divide through a common factor of negative 4y. And then here, we're going to be getting negative 4y. So then we get x squared over negative 4y times 1 over x. Now, if you don't understand what I did here, what I basically did was I saw that there was a common factor in the numerator of this fraction and the denominator of that fraction, and I just divided both of those by that same common factor. So if you don't understand that, I'll do a quick I'll quickly show you that on the side here. Okay, so let's say you would just have x over com factor times com factor over y. Okay, what you can do is you can divide both of these by that same common factor. So whenever you have two fractions multiplying them together, oh sorry, I can't use x. Okay, you should always check if a and y share a common factor or if x and b share a common factor. And if so, divide by that common factor, because that can save you loads and loads of time. Okay. So now that we have that, we can just multiply, and we get x squared over negative 4yx, and then we see that there's an x squared here and an x there, so we can cross this, so then we can subtract, because we have our law of exponents, right? X to the n over x to the m equals x to the n minus m, and then we get x over negative 4y. Or negative x over 4y. Same thing.